Yeah, I need to, I probably should have warmed up playing this way.
Match.
Okay, so what we're going to do today is just do a quick review and see where you are. Okay?
Okay. Love it.
So, do you have stick control?
Yeah.
Okay, pull out page number 10.
This will be safe. Okay.
So, if we're going to put the metronome, play to the metronome as a quarter note, I want you to play that first exercise for me. Okay? So, this metronome is at, let's see.
It's in cut time, right? Or is it?
No, we're going to put the metronome, we're going to play to a quarter note.
You want?
Yeah, put the metronome at 92. Metronome on at 92. Higher for me. Keep playing. Okay, now go ahead and play alternating flams.
Alternate flams?
I want you to play them. I want you to play them as quarter notes.
Like that?
Okay, now go ahead and play that Murray Spivak up and down exercise. Put the accent on the first of each group of four notes. And we're going to play it at this tempo. Okay, go ahead and play it. Play them as quarter notes.
I'm trying to figure out what exercise am I playing, Kevin? The Murray Spivak quarter note exercise? Single strokes exercise?
where he puts the accent either on the first of the four, the second, the third, or the fourth.
Ups and down, up and down. Okay. Sorry, I have that right here.
Some of these things you should have memorized, although it's always good to be looking at the music. Okay, now once you, okay, go ahead and play it as eighth notes. You're playing it as 16ths.
Oh. I mean, I could go up in that, you know, I could go up for a long time. So how do you want the up, I guess?
You now go ahead and play that leading left. All right, now I want you to go back to playing. Alternating clowns. Go ahead and play them as half notes. Okay, Mike, that's interesting. And as you watch this later, it will be you, but in the future. And it'll be interesting to see how you'll find it interesting to see how your perspective has changed. One of the things, you can turn off your metronome for just a moment. One of the aspects with regards to this technique is that the reason we're learning these 7 basic strokes is so that we can apply them to the rudiments, our scales and arpeggios. Or maybe it's the other way around and we're learning the rudiments and the scales and arpeggios so we can learn the 7 basic strokes. But ultimately, we're making music with these scales and arpeggios. And we're using a particular technique to accomplish learning the 7 basic strokes and the scales and arpeggios. One of the things that you may remember is that there is a chronology of strokes. One stroke, remember the Murray Spivak video with Louis Bellson? And he takes Louis right through it. See, this leads to this, and now this leads to this, and this leads to this, and this leads to this. And what you'll notice is they don't only just lead in some kind of intellectual air in a static way. It's a fluid system. One stroke can transition into another stroke. The strokes you should be able to transition them. That's what the 7 basic strokes are all about. There are these strokes that we learn, so we can utilize all of them at any time. They're always all available. Okay, so if they're not blending into each other, it means that you don't understand what are just really not very many basic motions, right? We have a wrist turn, we have a throw. A throw involves making an up motion, which can become an up stroke, right? We have wrist turn rebounds. We can throw for rebounds. There are only so many motions, right? Then we put them into practice through learning the scales and arpeggios, the roll strokes and the rudiments. In this case, we are taking these exercises and finding out what you really understand. And it will reveal to you, and it has to me, what you need to work on.
Excellent.
So let's start where we began. I first had you playing the singles exercise out of stick control, page 10, and we're at 92. We're at 92.
Now,
right? What happened was, at first, I wanted to know how things were working. And sometimes, if you're in this range, it's hard to know. I wanted you to start to turn higher so that I could understand what was going on. See, we're supposed to stop down here. However, as it gets going, it starts to feel like you can recognize that there's some force being provided by the surface. Okay, we're still turning our wrists. And what ended up happening with you was, as you brought the volume up by turning higher, you would end up in here. Maybe not quite that exaggerated, but you lost your floor. It always goes to the floor, right? We're trying to go to the floor. See, we're supposed to go to the floor while the arms just hang loosely. And we're at what is it, a 45-degree angle? Right? We don't want to play like this. Puts us in a funny position. We want this position. We want this very relaxed position. Remember, if you come up completely naturally, you'll be in half turned over, and we're just going to adjust so that we're in palm down. Right? And we're at the floor. See, we're turning from there. Now, I notice sometimes it seems like your left is a little more half turned over. We want them to be a mirror image of each other. Right? So the stick is lying in the hand. It's just lying in the hand. You're going to bring in the guides, not over squeeze. Kind of just leave everything alone. And when you turn your wrist upward for more volume and experiment with the system being blown up, when you experience the full range of this motion, we'll see if the hand is relaxed enough so that the fingers are moved by the stick. We're also going to find out if you're feeling the full range of the motion as it pertains to you coming all the way to the floor every time and not ending up waiting here. So can we get into a little bit more of a palm down in the left? Whatever it is. Remember, the gig is you're not supposed to be able to see the corner of your thumbnail. This isn't trite stuff. This is actually stuff that if you ignore it now, ultimately, as you progress, you'll end up needing to come back to it. And you'll wish you hadn't ignored it in the first place. Okay? So we really want this palm down kind of thing, where we could almost rest something on our palm. We don't want to be so turned towards ourselves in an exaggerated way that it feels uncomfortable, because it does. Watch. If you rotate too much this way, it starts to feel uncomfortable. Okay? We don't. So we just want to find that place, and we're looking to see that we don't see the bottom corner of our thumbnail. Can you see it?
No, it disappeared.
Okay. Might be the lighting. See, it just always looks like your right is a little more palm down than your left. If I put a quarter on your left palm, on the top part of the left hand, it would seem to want to roll towards the side, whereas your right seems to be not at such an angle.
Be flat. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
A little more flat. Yeah, both should be the same flatness. That's right. So that if you were to do that, I guess you could see you want to feel the wrist turning and following a very specific path, and that's what it would do. See there, now you're more palm down. Now just come back to the floor. There. Better. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to play that exercise at 92. Go for it. Mike, you forgot the essence of what it was I just talked about. We're blowing the motion up. The reason I blew the motion up was so that you could see later on as you look, and so you can experience in real time, because really all we have is now. You're going to experience in real time the feeling of what I described. If you turn up to the ceiling, the hand should be nice and relaxed. It's relaxed enough so that it does this. So it's got to be relaxed enough so that it'll do that. Okay? And we're not stopping up at the top. We'll get to that later. It's up to come down. See, it's just like you're throwing something up and allowing it to come down. We don't wait at the top. It's a fluid motion. All the way to the floor. Continue turning just as high. It shouldn't affect your ability to always come to the floor. Right?
I guess if the notes are all repeating of a simple, am I coming to the floor in between every note? I mean, yes, I am. So I don't know.
Go ahead and play eighth notes.
I'm at both places at once, aren't I?
Go ahead and play eighth notes. Turn higher, higher. See, at this speed, it might be too slow to feel the rebound. See what I'm feeling here. I just feel it just doing this. Watch, just put one hand in a resting position and play only the right. That's all it's doing. See? Now that's it. You're feeling the whole range of motion. Now it's going to go. Now it's going to keep moving up and down. Then, as we play the eighth notes, there's time to rest. There you go. Better. You have to get to the floor every time on those eighth notes. You have to allow the hand to be relaxed enough so that the fingers move if you're going to turn that high. It's the right weighting. The right's up in the air. Weighting up in the air. It's not. Better. Okay, now let's see you go the other way. Let's just test the system. Go weighting left. Are you waiting at the floor? The right's creeping up. It's got to be a fine Swiss watch. Right in the center. You want it right in the center. Now you're turning less high because it's easier to land in the center and stop down, perhaps. But it doesn't need to be. Turn higher. Good, good. Okay, better. Okay, so we're going to work on that this time. Part of your lesson. Okay, now, okay, so first thing we had to do improved. Now, when we had you play alternating flams, go ahead and play alternating flams again for me.
Quarters, eighths, halves.
Playing quarters. Begin with. Okay. Stop. 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 This is one of the first things that you learn it with this technique. And it's just learning these very basic motions. And the way that cats would teach this stroke is they'd say, and you've got this written down somewhere, a flam is one hand high, the other hand low. So that's all I'm asking you to do. One hand high, the other hand low. Go for it. Don't be afraid to put one hand high. Give me one hand up high. I think Dick used to say he would teach kids that it was though how to do it like on a string. Talk about something which isn't really where this ultimately is. No, you're gonna. One hand goes up, and then as the other hand goes up, it brings the other down. And so one hand is low. Okay. All right, so that's already getting better. One hand, keep one hand really low. Show me where the floor is, Mike. Show me where the floor is. Just relax your arms. See, one of the things I think you're doing in the left is you're like bent forward. Stay with me. You're a little bent forward, perhaps. So it starts to look like it's at an angle. Whereas the right seems to be a little more flat and in this position. Is that what it is? Maybe? Okay. Not changing pressure up front, just laying in the hand. There you go. Now show me what a little note looks like. Yeah. Now raise your right hand and show me what a high stroke looks like. And lift it up. No, you're just turning your wrist really high. Easy, just easy. Just nice and easy. Just lift it up a little. Now give me a right flam. There, do that again. No, just a right flam. No, you didn't raise that high in your left when I asked you what a little note looked like. How high did you raise? An inch? And now raise your right. One hand's high.
Oh.
No, we're just going one way. Well, I'm just asking you to raise it up and let it come down in the right. I'm not asking you to let it bounce up again. You might need it. You might need it down here if you're going to play an alternating flam. Might be a good idea to stop there. There, do that again. No, you're supposed to do a little turn in your left. Little turn. There you go. Lift up the right and to a little turn in the left. There, see, it sounded like a flam. Just a little turn in your left. No, you're slamming your left hand down. Look where your left is waiting, Mike. Where does it wait? What's it going to do? Show me. Turn up for an inch and come down. No, you're not leveraging. We're just lifting it up and letting just an inch. Just an inch. An inch. No, an inch. This much. There it is. That's all it is. It's a hinge in your wrist and it's turning this much. And the stick's hanging and it's just going to go up a little. And it doesn't wait up in the air. It just lifts up and comes back down in the left. No, it doesn't do this. It just lifts up. Yeah, you don't have to slam it down. It's very light. At this volume, it's going to feel more like gravity. Just lift it up and come down. Just hold onto the stick, let it lay in your hand. There. There, it's just a little turn. In the center. Tiny, make it smaller. Doesn't mean you have to start bending forward. No, small doesn't mean you bend forward. Make it smaller. How small can you turn? I want you to turn an eighth of an inch. There it is. So you're not bending forward. The fingers underneath are lifting the stick up, laying in the middle finger as well. First finger and thumb are part of the machine. Lifting it up. No, you don't lift it up and push down. And put, no, I just want you to lift up a 1/4 of an inch. There. That's a little note. That's a little note. Now look down at your wrist and notice it's turning. Look at it. Don't start rotating and pronating and leveraging. Just a tiny bit smaller. You're getting bigger. There. Yeah, look, it's turning. Go smaller. Smaller. Here, look at it. It's turning. Look. It's a wrist turn. Yay. There it is. You feel it now. That's all you're doing in that hand. In the other hand, I want you to get it, go nice and high and let it come down. Okay, there you go. Keep it small on the left. Don't lose it. That's it. Make it a flam. There it is. That's it. Go the other way. Little turn in the right. Tiny in the right. Show me a little turn in the right. You don't have to crush it with your thumb and first finger. You don't even need your thumb and first finger. It's so soft. You could, you know what I mean? Potentially, see, you didn't need to be squeezing like that. Tiny little turn, smaller. Yeah, don't force it down. Just lift it up and follow it down. Tiny. It's not doing anything more than that. See, and look down and look at your wrist turning. Look at it. Look at it turning. There, it's turning. Do anything weird. Make it small so you can see that it turns when it's small. That'll help you. It's not rotating on the super leveraging. Just lift it up. Don't lift it up and stop and force it down. It's a little tiny turn. No small. I want you to learn it small. It just goes up and down. See? A little turn, a little turn. Okay, now you're going to put it right up high with it. Go for it. Go for it. Oh, the left goes high and the right stays low, so you can play. There it is. Nice and tiny. That's it. I don't mind if you practice in between. Go ahead. There it is. There it is. Okay, now the other way. Go back and forth. Now the left has to be to really concentrate now. I didn't say go fast. Go slower. Nice and easy. You don't slam the appoggiatore down. It's that tiny little tiny turn that you looked down and saw your wrist doing. There it is. There. Come on, keep it going. One hand has to go high. You have to actually not just turn higher. I want you to one hand goes high, meaning you lift up. I want you to lift up and give me a little bit. There it is. Just like that. There it is. Keep the appoggiatore tiny. Come on, lift up. There it is. Lift it up. Okay, now it's starting to happen. Starting to happen without you even knowing. Now you'll notice. Go ahead and keep going. Don't stop. Put your left on your leg, on your calf. Keep it going. One hand high, the other hand low. Low, and then high. There, look. Up, down. Up, down. Up, down. A little note. There. Stick with this A. When you go up, leave the bead down. That's all. One hand high, the other hand low. Just leave the bead down. Make a big deal out of it. It was fine. Don't be yanking the arm up. It's a little note. You lost the idea of making a little note. It gave it to you. Now you're going to make the motion more important than the sound. A little note, a little tiny note. Give me the little note. Remember I showed you how it. Remember how little it was? It's just this tiny thing. It's this little tiny turn. And you're not in a big rush. There's time to come up. Then you have to come up. Little note. And there. A little note. You don't lift up before the little note. Just give me a little note. I don't want you leveraging and pronating. I just want a little note, and then think of one hand high. No, the hand high. Not the turn high. The hand high. Little tiny note. There you go. There you go. Little tiny note. Now one hand high where you leave the bead down as you go up. Come on, you can lift up. No, I don't want you to lift. I want you to make a little note first.
I'm overthinking it now.
There it is. Raise. A little note and raise. A little note. No, a little note and raise. A little note and raise. Come on, you know how to raise. You just did it. It was great. Now, no, with one hand high. We're doing it without knowing it, you see? It's a little note that I showed you with this little turn when you look down at your wrist. Now raise. And leave the bead down a little longer than you think. No, you were just raising. You have to lift your hand up. Little note. No, a little note. Good throw. Little note. No, a little note. A little note. You don't come to the floor, you can't make a little note. All you can do is bend forward and get this, and that's not what we want. No, a little note. Little note. Then you raise. One hand high. A little note, one hand high. There it is. And see how the bead almost wants to stay down by itself without you thinking about it? So as soon as I said leave the bead down, you turned it into something weird. There. One little note, one hand high. Little note. No, now you're bending forward thinking that this is an upstroke. It's a little note, no, a little note. And now you raise. There it is. There it is. Now on the other hand, let me see you do that. It's that little note, and then you're going to raise. And the bead kind of just hangs a little bit as you raise if you're nice and relaxed. First you make your little note though. It's not hanging while you make your little note. No, you made a big note. There you go. No, it's a little note. It's an appoggiatura. No, it's not a little note that where you pronate forward and leverage. No, you made a big note. No, you made a big note. I think this takes more patience for me than it does for you. Come on, Meg. Now you raise. There. See, it's smaller than you. The whole thing isn't quite what you thought. Now put the hands together and do that for crying out loud. So we're playing them as half notes right now, right? Playing them as half notes. Tiny note, and then you one hand high. And the bead just happens to kind of hang there longer than you think. Little. Play by ear, the flam. But we want one hand high. All you're doing is turning high. That's more a core thing. That's a core way to do it. We want you to actually raise. You don't raise while you're making the note in the left. It's that little tiny turn. Look at your left. You memorize hopefully what it looked like when you gave me that little turn in your left. Show me. No, you don't lift it up and force it down. It was tiny. This looks like this. Watch. Watch. Don't go faster. What you learned is that it inspired speed. It immediately went ta 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 ta, which is cool. You see how one leads to the other? See how they blended? Now, but they're not going to blend if you're doing this. That won't inspire you to go. See? Thinking that's it. Tight, really tight. That won't inspire this. All we want is, I don't know how to describe it. It's as if this was, Mike, if this was the wrist right in here, This was the wrist, and I asked you to turn your left wrist and come up just for a half an inch. We just do this. Just go up like this. Okay. Just, it doesn't go boom. It doesn't go oh. It goes. Your arm is here. Whatever it does, it'll do. But you're not thinking that way, and you're just going to go like this. You right? Try this. Put your hand on the surface. Go ahead and lean forward. Well, I don't want you like this. I want you like this, but here. Well, the stick is a little more pointing towards me. Yeah. Okay, now bring it more forward so that some of your arm is on the pad. Here you go. But I need you to be in playing position. The stick is almost in the same contour as the angle of my forearm. See, yours is like this. I want this. Don't overdo it. There, now put your arm on the surface. Leave it like that. No, don't go like this. Just take this arm and put it on the surface. Do it that way. There. But make sure you're lean forward. Put your arm on. Put your arm on. There you go. Now you're going to feel the back of your palm. See, the stick is flat with the surface. Put the butt end. Make sure the butt end is on the surface. Don't let go. But no, the butt end is on the surface too. And so is your wrist.
Okay.
Okay. Now, all you're going to do is just feel that. Yeah, that's it. See? Go smaller. Yeah, it's almost like you're rotating on the butt end. Or you're rotating on the palm. Your palm is doing this. Just this. Like you're playing a cross stick like a cross stick kind of thing. Okay, there. You now come back here. That's all it is. When you play the cross stick, you don't go, right? There it is. There, just do one of them. Look how relaxed your hand is. Just do one of them. No, don't start lifting it up. Right? When you do the cross stick, you don't go, you go, doesn't it? Like that. Only it's here. See, it's just looking in my hand. No, you're lifting it up and making a big deal. It's a little tiny thing right now. There. My wrist doesn't. When you were on the surface, did your wrist go like this? You're doing that, right? You're doing that right now. For you, the idea
on the surface.
See, your wrist isn't doing what you were just doing. That's what your wrist looks like. Remember, I had you look down. Look at it. Go ahead and do that and look at it. Make it smaller. Smaller. Yeah, the knuckles are just tapping. Just like that. Now, take the stick, back it up, and do that on the surface. Better. See, that's more of what it is. You don't have to leverage. You're starting to leverage. You're starting to, I want to do this. It's just this. It's this. Give me this. And then bring it down to this. This to this. See, your wrist isn't leveraging all that over the place. Look at it. Now make that motion half that size. And come down. See, your arm isn't leveraging. Now make it half that size. Should leverage even less, you'd think. There you go. See, your arm isn't leveraging. It's just the wrist swiveling, a little hinge. One side of the hinge that's attached to the door lifts up, the trap door. Okay, make it half that size. Don't go faster. Half that size. Yeah, your arm isn't doing this. Make it half that size. There it is. Now just put your hand underneath your stick so that it touches it each time. stop just above. You stop right there. You don't have to shove it down. No, you don't start opening your fingers up. You're just trying to open your fingers now. I just said, just turn your wrist and leave it laying there. There it is. No, smaller. Smaller. There it is. Just stop. Just stop. Just don't leave it on your hand when you stop it. Lift it up and stop at the floor. Same thing. Don't go opening up your hand. There it is. Look down at your wrist, and it'll look like it did before. The one that's playing. The wrist that's playing. See how little? Don't move more. No, it was smaller. Let it lay in your hand. Look at your wrist. Look at it. Look at your hand. How little it's swiveling. Don't play bigger. Look at it. Look at it in real time. Don't look at the monitor. I want you to look at your hand. Study it. Study. Keep going. You froze? Don't go faster. Not going to help. Now you let rest on your hand. It's that little tiny swivel of your wrist, turn of your wrist. There it is. You don't have to open and close your fingers. You don't have to do anything. There. Put that on the surface. I'm not going to spend any more excessive time. No, it's tiny. Remember how little? It didn't hurt your hand like that. Think of your pad as your hand. There it is. More light. At this volume, it feels kind of like you're using just the weight of the stick and the weight of your hand. It almost kind of. You're turning. You could play on the side, but it doesn't feel much more than gravity. There. See, your wrist is swiveling just perfectly. There. Why don't you do that? You're not going like this. There. That's all it is. When you're on volleys, I'm sure you're doing that all the time. See? Again, we have another chronology. One will lead to the other. They should work. Okay, small. Okay, so now what you started to realize was you're making a little note, and then you make a throw. A little note, and you make a throw. You one hand high now. It's a little note, and one hand high. Go lifting up to the little note. It's a little note, and then one hand. It's that little turn I showed you. At this speed right now, you need to learn that. Okay? And now you're going up and down. Okay, now put the other hand in and play the Murray exercise. It's going to make little notes too. Come on, keep it going. Don't stop. Oh, same speed. No. Go back to this. Up, down. Down.
Murray exercise? I'm sorry.
Okay, stay with me. In the left. I want you to stay in position. No. Keep the other hand in position. It's going to play in a minute. Stay with me. No, stay with me. Stop. I want a little note and one hand high. No. I'm talking, we're just playing the left right now. A little note. Now it's a big force. A little tiny note, like I showed you. No, don't go lifting your arm up. No, a little note. No, a little note. No, you don't lift your arm up. A little note. No, you lift your arm up. There it is. Now one hand high. Now one hand high. That's it. Keep doing that. Now put the other one in. Now put the other one in. No. Now you're going to put the other hand in between. The other hand is just playing little notes. It's playing the Murray exercise. This is the Murray exercise. Don't you see? One hand low, high. Left low, high. Left low, high. Don't go pronating for your up. Little turn, one hand high. Little turn. Now you raise. There it is. And the right is doing all the little turns. There. Ta-da! Okay, now you're nice and at the floor. Now you're playing like a fat man. Right? Nice and settled. hanging loose. That's it. Bottom of the bead, right? Hopefully the core of the attack, so it lines up perfectly with the bass player. Okay, now go the other way and lead right. It's one hand low, meaning the right, and one hand high, meaning the right. It's going, and then to raise. Don't be afraid to raise. There it is. There it is. Now it's interesting, Mike. Mike? Much better. Okay. So you see that all of these strokes will bleed into each other, right? Right. I mean, turn off your metronome for a sec, but we have this. We have singles, which, what did we do? We did this, and then we went. Okay. One hand low, the other hand high, and then we went. One hand low, the other hand high. You see how they're all connected? But you have to understand all of the parts. So what we're going to do is have you go through these and start to solidify what it is that what the heck you're doing, so that you understand what it really means to play an appoggiatorio by a tiny little wrist turn. What does it mean to actually turn high? How will things work if you actually turn high? What will happen when you go to play alternating clams? Here's what you were doing when you came in. When you watch it back, you'll recognize there's no right or wrong way to play, but you weren't doing this technique. There were no throws. You were imagine, because we're trying to do a very specific thing that incorporate very specific motions. You were doing something like you were going I mean, so that there was no throw. Not only was there no throw, but the way you were playing an accent, it was like, what you do is, I guess you'd wait up in the air. So the timing would be right. So we never wait up in the air. Do we? I thought we didn't wait. In this technique, we don't wait up in the air. You see? You're breaking the code. And it's only going to work in ways that hinder your ability to find the efficiency that exists in this technique if we adhere to these principles. Okay?
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Good concentration. Now take this to the shed and meditate on it.
Thank you, Kevin.
You're welcome, Mike.